Hey, Jaylen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Trish is great. I love her so much. I love especially, I believe it's episode 2 where she is going to the prison. She's helping people get married, and her and Miles are having their little brother and sister moment. And I do really like kind of the progression of their relationship through the series as a whole.
Yeah.
And so in season 2, especially, she has a new job. She's a businesswoman, but she's still the same Trish that we've known and loved throughout the first season. What has been the most exciting part about getting to kind of see her grow throughout that season and into like now where she's in this like hate to call it a bad bitch era, but she is like she's a businesswoman. She knows what she's doing. She's ready to
hmm
take charge.
I think you said it perfectly. She's in her bad B area and in her bad B bag. Um, I think that Trish gets to be a lot more vulnerable this season, and she's grown a lot. She's learned from her past mistakes, and she's becoming a more empathetic person. And I think with age comes empathy and less judgment, and
Mhm.
really not caring about like what people say to you. And I feel like she was so fast to trigger last season that now she's just like, okay, well, I feel this about myself, so I don't really need to fight you at the end of the day. And that's what I like about her though. But I also like the fighting part too.
And I do, she's showing a lot more of like how she cares about people in this season, like especially like I don't want to give spoilers away, so I will say not that area of her life that I do like that she's kind of coming to terms with. I do
Mhm.
like Ashley and her relationship. Like when she returns the earrings she stole, and Ashley's like, "Oh, you do care. You stole those
Yeah,
earrings from
yeah,
me."
yeah.
And it's those little moments are really sweet. Like, how much do you as an actor have a say in like those little things where it's like we're seeing her shell kind of crack bit by bit with the people around her, and we get that's where we see her emotions kind of come out.
I mean, yeah, I feel like her and Ashley have a very sister dynamic, and
Yeah.
I think that's really sweet and lovely, and it's a whole different side of Trish that we don't get to see before, like I said. And what was your question again? I'm sorry.
How much of as an actor do you have a say in with like how she kind of lets her shell, like she's slowly breaking out of her shell? Like, is that all just instantly written, or do you get to kind of have a little bit of input with that stuff?
I get to have a bit of input. Raphael and David are so good at listening to what I feel Trish would be doing or how Trish would react and what Trish would say. I mean,
Mhm.
of course, like there's a compromise in the middle because I cannot agree with something, they cannot agree with something, but then we come in the middle in the end and it comes out beautifully. But I mean, I feel like with Trish, a lot of her reactions are very similar to how I used to react to something, you know?
Mhm.
And I mean, like, and I relate to her on a level of how sensitive that she is. And she just has like this mask on of being tough. And I'm a very sensitive person myself. So just being able to be vulnerable is a little bit difficult for me. And I think with Trish, that's the same exact thing for her. It's hard for her to
Mhm.
be soft and like, oh, like, okay, like this is how I'm feeling. Let me express my emotions properly. I barely know how to express my emotions properly. I'm learning that right now. And I mean, it's cool because they give me a lot of creative freedom and they allow me to be able to have my own input, even down to like her tattoos were like I was like I want this tattoo and this tattoo because at the end of the day they want us to put our heart into this character because it makes the performance better.
Mhm. Yeah, I was gonna ask about the tattoos because like I was thinking about like Raphael, like he has so many tattoos. I was like, why did you pick that? Because now you have to get a neck tattoo every single time you're filming something else to like sit here. But like, is that something I know a lot of actors when they approach a character, the minute that they're in costume, that's kind of when it all comes together.
Mhm.
Are those little details and you having a say in like down to like what her tattoo would be and where? Does that help you in crafting it, or is it just you inserting yourself a little bit more into the character and getting to embody her in that way?
It helps me understand her more. And so, like, if I am able to have a choice of, well, I would pick this one because of this reason, I'm making up this story about her in my head because I didn't know her in the beginning. I didn't know who she was.
Mhm.
But I knew that she would have a Black Panther tattoo somewhere because she lives in Oakland and it's a whole Black Panther movement. I
Mhm.
know that she would also have a tattoo on her thigh of a woman with angel wings, and on the bottom would have horns because she has two different sides to her. And just like
Mhm.
trying to relate to her as much as possible and have this understanding of this woman is so important to me because like I said, it makes your performance that much more meaningful. And then you get to understand where she's coming from in certain scenes and why she says certain things and what lines is she saying tomorrow, what atmosphere is she in, who is she today. And knowing the details of your character will create a better performance.
Yeah. I do think like you were saying earlier about kind of like how she doesn't understand her emotions. It does come across, I'm not sure how tall you are, but it does to me always feel like the feisty short girl, which I love because I am a feisty short girl. So
Right.
like I love that. Like she's like, oh, you have that energy of like a short girl who has to defend herself
Mm,
by just like lashing out at people versus,
yeah.
being softer because it's like, I'm navigating in a world of 6 foot tall people. I have to figure
Right.
out a way.
Yeah, that's
But
really interesting you say that.
it's fun. It's a fun energy, and I think like you do it really well, and it makes the character someone that like we relate to because it's like, yeah, I understand that feeling of like putting up a wall so you can
Yeah.
exist in the world.
I feel like that's also like it also was like a younger sibling syndrome. We're
I'm
constant,
also one of those. So
yeah, me too. And I think it's like we're constantly one of the ones that get picked on, at least for me. Constantly the
Mhm.
ones that everybody looks to be like, oh, can you do this? Or like I noticed for me at least when there's a family party going on, there's my siblings who are there and my parents who are there at the party, but all my extended family is asking me where the cups are, where the napkins are, where the
Mhm.
forks are, because I don't know, I feel like younger siblings, we get looked at to take care of like a lot of things. We get asked a lot of favors, you know what I mean? Especially when,
Mhm.
can you give me this cup of water? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and so I think that we naturally become a little bit more like defensive and a little bit more like, you can't mess with me. Like everybody messed with me my whole life and you can't do it now because I'm grown. I'm a grown up. I swear I'm not a baby anymore. And that's how I feel. So I'm like, I assumed because Trish is the younger sibling, that's how she
Mhm.
would feel too, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like you're not about to take advantage of me.
And I love it. And that is a perfect description of I think why I love Trish too. Cause like I feel that. I'm like, I'm not getting you whatever you want. Like you can
Yeah.
walk over there and get it.
Yeah, and then wanting everybody so desperately not to look at you as a baby.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I'm not a baby. Like stop. And everybody will forever see you as a baby when you're the young.
You're the baby of the family for the
You're
rest
the
of your life.
baby for the rest of your life. You're gonna get treated like a baby, and nobody's gonna think you know how to do things. But then they're gonna ask you for things that they need
Hmm.
because it's a weird switcheroo.
It's much. I can't wait for everyone to get to see Trisha's journey in season 2. I love her very much. And thank you for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, girl.
Thanks.